You might think these are a good idea, but they're not. Because the only thing that offering sketches to art clients is good for is killing your art business. And as you watch me draw this today, you'll learn why sketches are a complete waste of time in your art business. And by the end of this video, I think you'll have a change of heart if you're already doing this. Now, what gets me onto this topic today is the fact that I recently had a conversation with somebody in one of the comments for one of my older videos where I also opposed this, and they came at me with a lot of stuff that they thought was a really good idea. And so starting this off, the most common reason that you're gonna think is that it just doesn't take you that much time. And so what this person told me was that it only took them about an hour to do each one of their sketches. Now, just consider this for a second, because what they said to me was that they couldn't spend 8 to 10 hours on a finished piece to get the amount of money that they wanted to. And I just want to go ahead and put it to you up like this, okay? So instead of doing a finished artwork, just like this one right here, what they said is that they could do in that time frame 10 different sketches for 10 other clients. And I said to them, you realize that's the same amount of time, right? And you actually netted less money. And we're going to talk about why that's a big, big issue. So a lot of times, and I understand it, is that you're going to think that, well, it just doesn't take me as much time to do that, which again is another huge problem I want to tackle today. And so therefore, it makes it easier to do. But do you not see how short-sighted that is? And so instead of you offering just a sketch of something, you should really start to ease into or wholly abandon this and just jump right into doing more fully rendered pieces. Because two things will happen with this one. Number one is that your proficiency will scale. See, when you do sketches or you do line arts, your proficiency caps at some point, and we'll talk about that today. And then the other thing, more importantly, is that your time efficiency scales. So you think that like time is a finite resource to you, but the more that you do it, the more that you're producing for yourself and for other clients like this, the better that you get with your time. Just to show you this right here. So for example, this artwork took me 8 to 10 hours. Then this artwork also took me 8 to 10 hours. And then this artwork also took me 8 to 10 hours. And finally, this artwork also took me about 8 to 10 hours. So what does this clearly demonstrate? The fact that even though I have sunk the same amount of time into it, over time, I've become a lot better with how I utilize my time. So if you're thinking to yourself that this time commitment lie is really what is pushing you towards doing sketches for clients or line arts for clients, that's not true. You're just looking at it in this current moment, not in the broader context of your entire business's life. How's that sound? But hold on. If that didn't convince you, it gets far worse than this. Moving on, let's go into a really dark reason why you should never offer line arts and sketches. If you're not already aware of this, this is actually a massive scam, and it's done at a huge level, especially nowadays, because here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna produce a line art just like this. You're gonna give it to your client. They're gonna say that they're gonna like it. And then this happens. They're gonna go ahead and put that into one of the AI image generation platforms, whichever one, take your pick, and then they're gonna upscale it and have it rendered by AI. So if you're not already familiar with this, here's what I'm laying down for you, is that you are helping to perpetuate an honestly abusive system where clients are gonna reach out to you and pay bottom dollar for you because let's be honest, your sketches are cheap and that's why they bought it. So instead of them buying rendered piece for you, they're just gonna go ahead and create an AI slop version of it. Let me just ask you, how does that make you feel? Do you want that? And then can we level that up for a second here? What is that doing for the greater art world? Is that now you're literally perpetuating and you're feeding this beast that we don't want anything to do with. Like no artist wants anything to do with AI, right? And I've seen plenty of them done. Here are loads of examples. I'll show you right now. And this happens all the time. And can I even go ahead and put this on a deeper note for you? This happens far more than you will ever know because the clients doing this are not being honest with it. Look, there are even some AI sloperators out there that go ahead and commission bigger artists for just a sketch or line art, specifically so that they can train models off of them. That's horrible, isn't it? And so I really want you to think about that. Is in the back of your mind, I want you to ask yourself, like, is this person buying my artwork because they like it, because it's cheap, or more insidiously, as I'm proposing right now, are they just gonna go ahead and use AI to go ahead and finish it because they didn't feel like paying me for it? And that's why you should not do it. Now, another thing you'll definitely never have a problem with is if you're struggling with your art business, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe so that you see more of my content helping you out just like this one. And hey, if this is helping you, please share with other artists that you know so that they're aware of why they should not be doing this either. And if you really like this, please go ahead and hit that hype button. If you don't know about that, this literally tells YouTube's algorithm, this video helped me, so it can help other people just like you. But we're not done yet. There are some other big red flags that you need to know about. Next, here's something that I really want you to look downstream for. Because a lot of times, especially for y'all that might be newer to freelancing, you might be thinking about how to make it good right now. But I want to present this to you as just somebody who's been doing this for over a decade and actually built an art business based on it. Because let me ask you, like, how much do you think you can scale your pricing based on sketches and line arts? And I think it's at this point in the video, I just want to go ahead and clearly delineate this so that there's nobody angry at me in the comment section. When I say sketches and line art, I understand that some of y'all are doing comic pages, doing manga panels and pages too. I'm not talking to you, okay? Because you're literally doing a finished piece. And what I'm proposing is that you need to wean yourself off of doing sketches and line arts for everybody not in that boat and doing more render pieces. Here's the big thing why. But just to put this out there, you're gonna get hard capped at what you can actually get and what you're able to offer for sketches and line arts. And so let me just go ahead and put this out there for you. You're gonna have a royally brutal time getting anywhere between $100 to $200. And all of that versus if you were to go ahead and do more finished pieces. If you were to go ahead and actually render out your stuff. If you were to go ahead and give completed works onto this, what would that be like for you? So let me just go ahead and put this out there for you. Again, let's take a look at this artwork right here. This is one of my earlier artworks. It took me about 10 hours to do this piece back in the day when I first started, and I got about 50 bucks for that. Then let's fast forward a couple more years. I did this piece right here, and I got $150 for this one. Same amount of time. Then let's fast forward another couple years. I did this piece right here. Again, same amount of time, about 10-ish hours on this one. And for this, I got $300. And so let's just go ahead and compare that with sketches. How much do you think that you can price up? And let me just level up this conversation right now. How much do you think you can price up without an audience? Because all too often, you're gonna potentially look at artists that are offering these and overlook the fact that they're popular. And if they're popular, guess what? They don't play by the same rules as us, all right? I'm unpopular. I don't have any following. I don't have anybody anywhere on any platform that is just coming to me all the time for this stuff. It doesn't happen. Like, not even here on YouTube with my audience. It doesn't happen. You're not my people that usually commission me ever. Like, one person has gotten it from here. And then the thing that I really want to put in perspective for you is that you're going to have a royally brutal time ever commanding any type of competitive or respectable wages. And if that's going to be your case, like, what do you think you're going to get? And so look at all these examples, all these people that are offering sketches and line arts. How much do you think that you're going to be able to get? Do you see where I'm going with this? It's a problem. And you might think that it's okay now, but long term, no, that's never going to happen for you, friend. And I don't want that to be your case. I want you to be able to actually build this into a sustainable art business for yourself and a great practice for yourself, which I think then also pairs it with this issue that we need to discuss. Now, I want to go ahead and give you a very hot take on this topic. And to do that, it's going to require some mutual honesty. Can I ask that of you? This is going to require some honesty on my part. I want to be honest with you because I want to help you. But it's also going to require some honesty on your part. Can you be honest? Not with me, with yourself. And here's my hot take on this, is that a lot of people offer sketches and line arts because it's easier than committing to a finished piece. Yeah. How does that sit with you? When you're doing sketches, when you're doing line arts, let's just be real here, it's always better looking in the earliest phases. And this is something I talk about in plenty of my other content too. But like, it's so much more gratifying when you enter those phases versus when you start to render. And then what happens? Oh, the ugly sets in, right? You get that ugly middle zone, which is like the majority of the entire production, right? Where it's just like unsure and it's unsavory and you just don't like it. And that's where you lose all of your growth. And now let's level up this conversation with this. It's also kneecapping not only your business growth, your economic growth, it's also going to kneecap your artistic growth. Because if you're only going to push yourself to the earliest possible level, how much can you really grow? Like, just as an example, like how many sketches and line art artists out there have really gotten that much better, have really gotten that much more support or that much more business? You can only do so much. Like literally, you can only do so much with line art. Even the artists that you might know, like if you look at Archer, if you look at Warwick Wong, these two beasts of artistic men, right? They're amazing. They're known for their sketch work. They're known for their incredible line art, but they also have a ton of finished works. That's why you can only do so much with these. And especially, caveat to that, without an audience. And by all means, like you can have it be your goal to say, I want to build an audience to build it. Okay, cool. That might never happen. And then what? Because there's no winning strategy. There's no single silver bullet that everybody can use to do it, or else everybody would have done it by now. And now I propose this to you. If you're only doing this because it is easy, because it doesn't take that much time into it, are you really giving it your best? Do you really care about the piece? Like a lot of times people will be like, well, Sean, it only takes me 30 minutes. It only takes me an hour. Do you care? Are you really putting your best care into the piece? And are you giving the best customer service? Like, would you want somebody to do a rush job on your car or a rush job on your house or a rush job teaching your child? Because if not, why would you want to give a rush job to an art client that's going to pay you any sum of money? They deserve better, and so do you. Moving on, let me now discuss professional opportunities with you. If you're doing sketches and you're offering line art, where do you really go from here? Like, what do you possibly do with this? And also, how does this help hit your goals? So let me kind of break it down for you like this. Because in my initial conversation with the person that triggered me to make this entire video right here, they said to me that, hey, they can make 15 artworks and make $500. To which I said, okay, let's kind of break that one down. So if you need to do 15 artworks to make $500, you realize that you could instead do 5 artworks at $100. You could do 2 artworks at $250. You could also just do 1 artwork at $500 and get the exact same amount. And so here's one thing that I really want to clue you into, is that if you're just doing sketches and line arts because they're fast and they're easy and they're cheap, what you're doing is promoting toxic working conditions. This is a real problem with us as artists in the art community, is that we think that having a lot of clients equals art success. It does not. It actually equals burnout, because what you're doing is forcing yourself to work for piss poor wages, and therefore you're going and going and going and making. And again, just be honest with you, like we're not putting our best into it when we're under those conditions, okay? Just doesn't matter if you're full-time or if you're part-time on this, if you're weekend warrior on this, you're not giving it your best. And what you're doing is you're forcing yourself to just comply with this Red Sea effect, where you go ahead and you just offer whatever you can make to whoever will buy it for whatever price tag that you can get for it. That is a horrible way for you to operate as an artist, as a business person, and especially as a human being. I don't want that for you. Next, I want to go ahead and hit you with some hard info right now about maybe where you want to go with this and what the future of yourself in any freelance market is going to be. Because you might be thinking to yourself that like, well, I'm getting pretty good money, I'm getting paid for this, and whatever country you're in or whatever you want to do with it, or it's just supplementing your income right now. Now again, like if you're still opposing me on this, let me just ask you this. How many people do you know that can make in the area of $500 to $1,000 just based on sketches and line arts? Nobody. They don't exist. And leveling that up, how many people that you know that can make thousands of dollars, like more than $1,000 a month on this? I'm saying per month, not like over a year. They don't exist. Do you know why that is? Because they've all realized this, given up the practice, and shifted into fully rendered works. It doesn't matter what community you're in either, or what your niche is. You're not going to get this amount of money from it. You just won't. If you think that you can, or if you're going to propose that you can, please in my comments, go ahead, put down where I can find your art and what your pricing is for it, because I've never seen it in my entire life. And it doesn't exist. Now, another thing that you're going to come to is if you're even in economically disadvantaged countries, like I just want to say, you're not doing yourself any favor by, again, forcing yourself into this box of doing really cheap labor and really cheap work. Because let's just say that you're from the Philippines and you're like, well, Sean, $15 is a lot of money to me, and $500 a month or $200 a month even is a lot of money for me. Okay, great. What you're actually doing here is you're forcing yourself to be poor in a poor country. What if instead you actually followed this advice and you started to do rendered pieces and you're able to 2x to 5x to 10x that amount? Because you definitely could. There's nobody in the world that cares where you're from. Just because you're from an economically disadvantaged countries does not mean that your artwork has to be economically disadvantaged as well. Represent yourself better, Fred, and represent your country with a little bit more pride, because you don't have to do that in this global age. All right? Next. Another thing that's going to rear its ugly head is that the more that you lean into or you only do sketches and line arts, the less that you're ever going to have anything to show off. The less that you're going to have portfolio ready pieces. See, a lot of people think that they need to go ahead and just get an art business for whatever people will pay for. But where do you go from there? What do you have to show for? You could have an entire sketchbook full of sketches. And then what? And again, let's just pair this with my earlier concern with your artistic growth. You're not going to see as much year over year, 6 months over 6 months or beyond. You're just not going to see that much growth. And you don't have, again, that much professional ascension. Like, where do you want to go with this? Because I'm going to be real with you right here, okay? Because anybody that tells you that commissions is a full-time job is wholly lying to you. Commissions are a gateway to you doing more professional opportunities. Guess what there are no professional opportunities in? Sketching and line art. You can go into concept art, but again, like that's not the end product of it, and there's way more involved into it. You need to go ahead and have a portfolio that is finished works. And so if I look at my portfolio over the year, like you're seeing me show you right here, like there's a massive, massive jump in increase year over year. With your sketches and line arts, do you have that too? Because there's not that many qualities that you can put into this. When we really sit down and examine elements of art-wise, what can you do to this? There's not that much. Like you'll get better, no doubt, but there's only so much that you can do with it. And also, everything looks good at this stage. You don't really notice a lot of the flaws until you start to color it. And so again, that signifies that you have objectively capped growth. And if you don't have anything to show for it, and you don't have any professional opportunities that are going to come your way from it, why offer it? Instead, every single artwork that you offer for a client that is rendered, it becomes a portfolio piece. It becomes another piece to get another client. This is what I call a magnet artwork. And so what that means is that every artwork that you do for any client should serve as a magnet for you to get more clients, to draw more clients in, to get more business, to get more money. And again, kind of pairing it with that price ascension model I mentioned earlier. You get to scale up. Sketches, not happening. All right, now let's level up this conversation here, because I bet that you might be having some reservations about this and say, well, Sean, this is a tried and true method. Sean, why would you want to rock the boat? Sean, clearly this is working. It's working for a lot of people, but it's not. See, you think that this might be a tried and true formula. Oh, everyone's doing it. There are so many artists offering it. Sean, why shouldn't I do it? Look at all these people doing it. Look at all these commission sheets. As if that's a good thing, which by the way, it isn't. You shouldn't do that either. Everyone's winning with it. No, that's false. It's not tried and true. It's not a winning strategy. It's a tried and lost and everybody quits strategy. Let me just explain to you why. Because again, if you're putting yourself in a position where you're not trying that hard and you're forcing yourself into this artistic labor camp that, by the way, you signed yourself up for, and you're doing all these artworks and you're not trying as hard and you're getting bottom floor dollar on this one, you're gonna come to this realization. It's not worth your time. You can make more money more consistently doing other things. Like, just be real here. Like, you could probably go ahead and go work for Chick-fil-A or Walmart and make more money more consistently than doing this. And on a worse note too, you're gonna be working with the worst clients. And these cheapo clients, God, they demand so much from you. Believe me, I know. I used to start there. I started really cheap. And you might think that that's a good thing. It's not. When you identify as a cheap artist, it like takes a piece of your soul. Believe me, I know. It sucks. And it's not something people are winning with. It's what people have been offering for a large part of over a decade when people first started this. And they started to do all these bad practices that I'm warning you all about today. And it didn't work then. It's not working now either. But you're seeing everybody do it because we've just perpetuated this cycle of all these bad ideas, and everyone's like, oh, well, I see them doing it, I should do it too. This will just help you do one major thing: not grow a business, not reach your financial goals, not help you get out of poverty, not help you quit your job, not help give you any professional opportunities. It's gonna make you quit. It's gonna make you quit art, it's gonna make you hate art. It's not gonna do anything good for you as a human, nor as an artist. So why do it? You could just have this be part of your process, and that's where it should lie. So this far into the video, you might be wondering, well, Sean, I've been doing this, but where do I go? And how do I get out of this? Okay, so let me just ask you this. Am I saying to you, right, am I demonizing you like you're a failure right now? No. What I'm suggesting for you very simply is this, friend. I think that you need to go ahead and shift. I would go ahead and say, I might be doing this right now. I might be getting these commissions right now. But right now is not forever. Right now is not even 5 years from now. And that's where I want you to be looking. So how can you start to do more finished pieces? How can you start to increase your render? How can you start to get more money and less clients? And how can you stop doing more bad practices like this? Because the last thing that I want is for you to have a poor relationship with your art, for you to resent it, or especially for you to just drop it all together because it means something to you, and this practice is going to get in the way of it. And if you're unsure like what else you shouldn't do along with this, because there's quite a few of them, I made a whole video of it right here. Never do these things for our clients. And if you don't know about these, you really should. Thanks so much for watching. Share this with somebody that you know if this helped you. See you next time.